Good afternoon, everyone. The reception is being hosted by Allegheny College. It is being taped by Armstrong Cable with Mr. Kevin Tomini. The reception is being covered by the Meadville Tribune reporter, Mr. Keith Gushner. Photography is by Dr. Ron Cole. Please at this time turn off your cell phones for the duration of the reception. Restrooms are to my right and in the foyer and to the left. It is great to see each of you and to welcome you to our 54th annual scholarship reception. The Meadville Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship has a rich history. It is a history that includes a pathway to the scholarship for worthy students, and this pathway encompasses Meadville, the beloved community, the mentoring program in partnership with Allegheny College and the Crawford Central School District, a partnership 12 years and counting, and now Savor for Scholars. Today is a celebration of the achievements of Franz and Erulon Walker and their families. Together, they join the 153 students who have received this coveted award. Reverend Cameron Bowman, pastor of the St. John Missionary Baptist Church, an emerging community leader in Meadville and the state of Pennsylvania, will bring the invocation. Reverend Bowman is president of the local chapter of the NAACP. Albert Einstein, who helped to organize the NAACP, said that we need to work on the frontier where we love and respect each other, regardless of race, creed, or color. We believe that our emerging leader is doing just this. After which, President Hillary Link, president of Allegheny College, will make remarks. We are so fortunate to have Dr. Hillary Link, the 22nd president, in our midst. She has more than 20 years of experience across a broad range of institutions of higher education, one of which was serving as dean of Temple University in Rome. She's a scholar in Italian art and literature. Her professional and academic accolades reflect her long-term and honorable service. Here she is in Meadville, Pennsylvania. And from the time she took office, she has reached out to the Meadville community through civic engagement, internships, and research projects. We are fortunate to witness her leadership. Our scholarship knows this quite well, our scholarship board. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Cameron Bowman and President Hillary Link.
Let us pray. Holy God, creator of all, you give your sons and daughters the ability to acquire knowledge, and you rejoice when they gain true wisdom. Ask that we might know the blessing of your presence here this afternoon as we honor these young scholars. Thank you for the food we share, for the work of this organization, and for the generosity of those who made these scholarships possible. Thank you for the leadership, intelligence, and creativity that we see in these young adults. Thank you for caring teachers and mentors who nurture their minds and shape their character. Thank you for friends and parents who supported and encouraged them. You helped them become who they are. Now help them grow into the men and women they can become. Be with them and strengthen them for whatever the future holds. Lead them in the paths that are best for them. Help them fully develop the gifts of mind, body, and spirit that you have given them. Use them to make the world a better place for everyone. Guide them in the way of truth and life for the sake of your holy name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Sorry, to those of you who don't know me, I'm Hillary Link. As Dr. Dixon said, I'm the 22nd president of Allegheny, and I'm thrilled that you're all here today. It's really our pleasure and our honor to host this wonderful event. So I first want to thank all of those whose hard work and vision have made this event and the larger scholarship program such a success and a truly invaluable asset to the Meadville community. Allegheny College is grateful to have developed a mutually supportive partnership with the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Program. We're proud also that over the years, a number of scholarship recipients have chosen to continue their education at Allegheny, although we in no way fault the two students for going elsewhere with their scholarships in the fall. In addition, through the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Mentoring Program, Allegheny students have learned and grown by serving as tutors for 7th and 8th grade students at Meadville Area Middle School. Over the last 11 years, this program has not only benefited all of its participants in the short term, but has no doubt helped to inspire many of our students to pursue careers in education. It's proven to be a tremendous learning experience with a lasting ripple effect that I think those of us in education are grateful for, because we all know how much we're going to need wonderful, thoughtful, creative people going into education in the future. We were also excited to join forces with the scholarship program and several other organizations last summer for the Time Capsule Project in our community. The goal of that project was to show residents 50 years from now what life was like during the COVID-19 pandemic. Although we can't think of anything else, but that'll be interesting, and to share lessons that we have already learned from this experience. So I was excited to be invited to contribute a letter to students of the future that was placed in that time capsule. I closed the letter by offering to young people that you are society's greatest asset and its greatest hope. And I'd like to share that same message today. It's a lot of pressure, though, on young people. Our society has no shortage of problems and crises that are pressing, and they're mostly intertwined. They require focused, systemic change from smart, creative people who are willing to work together to tackle complexity. Whether that's taking action on climate change, social and economic inequality, racial injustice, gun violence, public health. I could name many more challenges we all face. And yesterday's tragic, sickening, racially motivated killings are yet another reminder of the overwhelming challenges for all of us ahead. But how do we best prepare future leaders for the knowns of today and the unknowns of tomorrow? So as Dr. Dixon mentioned, I'm a scholar of Italian art and literature from the Renaissance. Someday I'll tell any of you who are interested more about those. But today I just want to share one quick thing from one of the great Renaissance polymaths, Leon Battista Alberti. Alberti wrote in 1435 in a treatise on painting that if an artist wanted to see something new, he should change where he stands. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but that was the gist. It sounds simple, but it's really profound. One little change in perspective can change absolutely everything. Or as people on this campus often hear me say, change where you stand, change what you see. I believe today's students actually have a lot of similarities to those very innovative Renaissance thinkers. Like their Renaissance predecessors, this generation of students want to be lots of different things, not just one. They're diverse, they're driven, they're curious, and they're resourceful. So the students, I encourage you as you continue your studies to keep your minds open to new and different perspectives and viewpoints, to be willing to see issues from a new vantage point, and to learn from others who come from different backgrounds and experiences. That multi-perspective approach is the most powerful way to prepare young people to become the nimble, thoughtful, creative problem solvers our world needs. We're aiming to prepare passionate students for life, rather than being wedded to one idea, one career, one role. Because we don't know what the future holds. We clearly don't even know what today or tomorrow holds, nor do we know what new fields or careers or opportunities might exist even a few years from now in this rapidly changing world. So we are excited to see the difference that this year's recipients of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship will make. On behalf of the entire Allegheny College community, congratulations on all that you have achieved, and our best wishes as you move on to your next chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bowman and President Link. This is also a time to introduce our special guest. You know that means each of you, right? These introductions help to tell the story of our scholarship board. So we take the time each year to recognize those with whom we collaborate. So here goes. Will Reverend Cameron Bowman and his wife, Reverend Sierra Bowman, please stand. Reverend Bowman is pastor of St. John Missionary Baptist Church. Reverend Bowman, thank you. Will Honorable Mayor Jamie Kinder please stand? She is already graciously demonstrating her love and concern for our city. Will President Hillary Link and her administrative assistant, Mrs. Pam Hyam, stand? Where is Mrs. Hyam? I tell you. Well, Mrs. Hyam is a special friend with whom I've worked for many years. This year we both say how, there she is at the door. This year we both say how wonderful it is to work with President Link. We call her a beautiful, brilliant lady who has a mile-long smile that warms our hearts. Thank you. The recipients will be introducing their parents, families, and friends. However, I want you to meet their parents. We know that children don't get to this junction in life without the support of their parents, their families, their grandparents, teachers, and community mentors. Will Mrs. Dawn Franz and Mr. Jason Franz, parents of Riley Franz, please stand? Thank you. With Miss Mackenzie Walker, mother of Arulon Walker, please stand. With Mr. John Higgins, please stand. Mr. Higgins is principal at the Meadville Area Senior High School. He welcomes those who reach out to his students. His outstanding leadership has meant so much to our recipients and other students in MASH. Each year, we hire students from MASH to work as teacher assistants in our mentoring program. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Okay. Will Mrs. Dorothy Chapman please stand? Mrs. Chapman served on our board for many years, and because of her work schedule in healthcare, she's no longer able to serve on the board. But anytime she can, she helps. Today, she is serving as hostess. Ms. Chapman. Reverend Joel DeAngie. Will you stand, please? Reverend DeAngie. Reverend DeAngie served on the board for several years. He accepted a church away from us, and he could no longer serve on the board. Yet each year, he schedules time to be with us and share his musical talent. Thank you, Reverend DeAndre. Will Mr. Sam Burt and Mrs. Brenda Burt please stand? Mr. Burt is vice president of the local chapter of the NAACP and has worked in this chapter for many years. And Mrs. Burt works for the Meadville Medical Center, and this year she helped with Savor for Scholars, winning the Taster's Choice Award. Miss Susan Wyckoff, will you stand, please? You will hear more from Ms. Wyckoff when she makes remarks from the Sustainability Committee. Ms. Wyckoff is owner of the Woolen Mill on Chestnut Street in Meadville. She is a classic example of an Allegheny College graduate who's part of the Meadville community and a person who keeps giving back to the community. Her daughter was to be with us today, but please give her our regards. Thank you. Mrs. Lois Galbo, will you stand, please? Mrs. Galbo. Mrs. Galbo is the wife of Mr. Joseph Galbo III, our vice president. She works for Crawford County Community Services. She's a member of the Pennsylvania 21st Century Community Learning Center Advisory Board. She's a tough boss. If you attended the packed event Savor for Scholars, you saw her footprints in the exquisite table decorations and the original fun way the basket auction was held. Mrs. Galbo. Mrs. Roberta Rice, Mrs. Dolly McKibben, and Miss Angela Jones, please stand. You know, these ladies are in the Melissa Burnett and Amendia Dixon gang. We were in the missionary groups together, and each year our sisterhood grows. We can call on each other at any time, and we rally around each other. They have always been working in the background of the scholarship board to make calls, to get volunteers, you name it. Thank you, the gang. Miss Elizabeth Surlis. Okay. She is a member of our e-board for the NAACP, and my goodness, she's always giving of herself in all the ways that we think are necessary to help us. So we thank you very much, Elizabeth. Okay. Mrs. Mary Anna Wood, will you stand, please? Mrs. Wood keeps our students and board connected to Chautauqua Institute and all its historical figures and their lectures. She is a well-known historian within her own rights. She also helped us with Savor for Scholars. Thank you, Ms. Wood. Now you know some of the people who make our year happen in such an exciting manner. Each year, we look forward to a proclamation from the mayor of the city of Meadville. We enjoyed the relationship over the years with former mayors. We have a new mayor. The beauty of democracy is that once we make a decision, we all get behind that decision, giving it our best. Let's all join with Mayor Kinder, who so graciously reaches out to all of us and assist her in whatever way we are able. Mayor Kinder, will you please come with the proclamation? Mayor Kinder.
Thanks for having me, right? I'm in a room full of people who do so much for my community. that I'm always in awe that I get invited, right? Like I know I'm mayor, but I'm always in awe, right? Like I feel unqualified, right? Like I just look back at this room and I see this is exactly how community is supposed to work. Look at the collaborations going on to form new individuals, right? Like help young people keep going with their education. And this is how Meadville is supposed to work. This is how a village raises children, right? This is how we make everyone's life a little bit better daily. Briefly, I've been here before at this. Not too many people know I won a rap contest in 6th grade. I'm a little bit of a lyricist. Jason Franz, I think you could double in on that, right? You agree? So I'm just letting you know, the better you get to know me, maybe I will do a little something for you. But again, I just am in awe with the things that we're doing here in Meadville. And I'm always so honored, and I can't wait for my ticket to be in this gang that I'm just hearing about, right? Like, because that's the Cool Kids Club, and I would like to be a part. Okay, so part of what I get to do as the mayor is I get to come to these wonderful events, and I get to do a proclamation that just proclaims a day for the organization that is going on, right? It's some nice words, and it just affirms that Meadville is behind this, right? But I don't think that this organization needs that to keep going, and I'm a testament to that, right? Like I'm a testament to this organization's namesake. I'm a product of what has happened in our country, and I just think we're moving in the right direction, although, as President Link has said, we do need to change our perspective, right? And we need to move forward because there's some things happening in the world that we need to change. And I just think you're looking at the people that can do it, and I can't wait to get behind everybody. So, whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in the equal access for all students to pursue a quality education, and whereas based on Miss Bernice Bradwell's initial proposal for creating a scholarship, the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Trust was established in 1972 in Meadville, and in 1986, a capital fund drive was started to make the scholarship fund perpetual. And whereas these scholarships help to fund a portion of the college tuition of several deserving students, regardless of race or ethnicity. And whereas over 90% of those receiving the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund or scholarship have graduated from college, therefore fulfilling Dr. Martin Luther King's hope of equality in education. Now, therefore, be it resolved and affirmed that I, Jamie Kinder, Mayor of the City of Meadville, on behalf of all city members, council members, city staff, and residents of the City of Meadville, commend the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Corporation for honoring the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through this scholarship award program, and for providing the opportunities for students from Meadville to continue their pursuit of a quality college education and continuing the good work embodied by the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And there it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kinder. And now, you know, some of you have heard this famous trio. Mr. Joseph Galbo, the third vice president of our organization, and Reverend DeAngie. Where's Reverend DeAngie? He's on his way to, okay, Reverend D. Oh, Reverend D. Oh my goodness, they separated this time. My goodness. Well,
you coming over here, Reverend?
all right, this is more like it. Yes. See, I'm the manager here, and I didn't know this was going to happen. All right, at this time, we will hear from our duet. Okay.
That's Let's hold it out. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less day to sing God's praise than when we first
My goodness, it sounds like church. Thank you. All right. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. He is attorney Kevin Burke, originally from New Milford, New Jersey. He came to Meadville to attend Allegheny College, where he graduated in 1990 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. He graduated from the University of Pittsburgh School of Law in 1996. After working in private practice and serving as assistant district attorney for several years, he began work at the Northwestern Legal Service, where he has served for 20 years. He has 2 children and 1 grandson. Attorney Burke is still another example of an Allegheny College graduate who chose to become part of the Meadville community. We call it the beloved community. He serves on the Scholarship Board and the Sustainability Committee. He's also a member of the Crawford County Community Council. Our speaker, attorney Kevin Burke.
Thank you, Dr. Dixon. I am humbled to be here among so many people who contribute so much. But beyond that, I am so excited because there is so much passion, so much hard work, so much intelligence in this room. And believe me, just being here for the last hour and interacting with everyone is beyond anything I thought as far as collaborations, and it's amazing. I want to thank Allegheny again. I won't repeat what Dr. Dixon and President Link have said about all the collaborations with the Scholarship Board, but I just have to say we appreciate it, not just today, but year round. We appreciate what the college does. And I will say, as I said to President Link, every time I go to community events, whether it be community council, whether it be different nonprofits, different fundraisers, the college's name is always there. They're always a part of it. And I want folks to know that we see that, and I want you to know that we see that and recognize that. On our board, I know we have at least 2 folks from the college, Dr. Cole, who's taking pictures, and Dr. Nancy Smith, who is, I believe, in Toronto now. but she's a big part of it. I want to talk to you today about larger-than-life figures, larger-than-life people. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed on several years ago, as probably most of you know in this room. And when she passed on and I heard that news, it was hard. It was hard for someone who believes in what she believed in. And I was worried that the era of larger-than-life figures might be ending, that we might be at a time where people who do more than just pass by life might be over. And even a year later, I thought, where are we going to get folks who are larger than life, who make a difference in their communities? And then last week, I was honored to be asked to do this in sort of a roundabout way, but I was asked. And when I thought about coming here today and all the people who would be here and being just part of it, just to be invited, I was excited. And I realized I was wrong, that there are larger than life people. There are great people. And we have some of them here today. Amen. What makes a larger than life person, I believe, is three different things. One is they have to be great at what they do. That's actually the easy one. Our recipients are brilliant at high school and will be brilliant. And that's part of what we hope makes them larger than life. Ruth Bader Ginsburg obviously was an amazing attorney and an amazing judge and an amazing justice. But she was so much more than that. Another thing that larger than life folks have in common is that they generally have to overcome obstacles. And Justice Ginsburg, her obstacles had a lot to do with an attribute that she shares with so many folks here today. And to be honest, it's because she was a woman. And that was an obstacle back when she was going to college, when she was going to law school. When she went to law school, women were not accepted in law school generally. And she persevered and she went to law school and she graduated near the top of her class. And you know what her reward was for that? Was it a clerkship with a federal judge? No. Was it a job with a big city law firm? No. Was it even a low-level associate's job at Legal Aid? No. She was told, you can be our secretary after graduating high in law school. But she persevered. And then she obviously became a great attorney. And then she creatively argued for women's rights. And how she did that was, she knew she had to convince 9 men. And so instead of taking cases where women had been discriminated against simply, she found a case where roles were reversed and it actually was a man discriminated against. There was a law, Social Security benefits, where they say, if your husband dies, we'll give you money every month so you, as the mom, can stay home with the child, because lawmakers thought moms should be home with kids. But there was a husband who sadly his wife died. And you know what he said? Hey, I'm a dad, I'm important to my kid, so why don't I get money so I can stay home with my kid? And at that time, Attorney Ginsburg agreed. And so she took that case and she went to those 9 men in the United States Supreme Court in her diminutive, small style, if you've ever seen her speak. And she said, just like women should be allowed out in the workforce, men should be allowed to raise their kids and stay home. And how could those 9 men say no? We're not going to give men money to stay home and raise their kid when their kid's mom died. And so that created law that if there's a benefit for men, there should be a benefit for women. And that was creative thinking. The other way, the most important way and the most difficult way I believe people can be larger than life is they have to realize life is about more than simply getting by every day. And it's even more than just advancing your own personal goals and advancing the goals of your family and friends. It's easy for everyone to be supportive of their family and friends, but there's a bigger world out there, whether it be the Meadville community, whether it be the college community, whether it be the state of Pennsylvania or the country. And Justice Ginsburg did this so well. In one important way she did it that is so important today. And I was talking to Dr. President Link about the civility project that Allegheny has. I'm advocating, bring it back, the Civility Award. And Justice Ginsburg was an example of that because one of her best friends was Justice Antonin Scalia. And if you folks know Justice Antonin Scalia, he is out of this building while Justice Ginsburg is in this building on how to read the Constitution. On almost every contested case at the Supreme Court, they would be opposites. So you would think they would never talk. They wouldn't talk to each other. They were very good, almost best friends. They did an opera together. They did public appearances together, which is so important, especially today, because it set an example that on the one day, they could vote against each other in deciding a case. They could write some pretty harsh things about each other if you've ever read some of their opinions. Justice Ginsburg did not mince words when she thought Justice Scalia was off the range and out of bounds. And Justice Scalia is not polite when he thinks the other four justices are doing something wrong. But they would sit in two chairs and talk for an hour with an audience and explain how American law works, calmly, respectfully. We could use a little more of that. So Justice Ginsburg was so instrumental in changing our country and possibly and probably the world, because our justice system is watched. And so that is what being larger than life is. And what I realized a week ago is we have larger than life folks here. Dr. Mary Dixon is amazing. She started her career as an educator where, and not to be overly blunt, being a black woman was not easy, was not accepted here. And she persevered and she became a principal and an educator. And now she is one of the pillars of this community. I met her more than 30 years ago, but we'll say 30 years ago. One of the first things I did when I came to Allegheny was I went to work at the Latchkey program, and she was there. And she made sure I did my best because there was no messing around. And I appreciated that. And she was a leader back then. And one of my proudest moments when I realized I'd become a full-fledged adult was when about 10 years ago, she said to me, hey, can you and your organization have a booth at the beloved community? And I said, yes, ma'am. What time? What do I do? Because everyone in this room knows when Dr. Dixon asks you to do something, you say, yes, ma'am, how high jump? And the reason for that is because we know it's going to be quality. Whatever the event is, we know it's for a good cause and we know it's well. And so she is definitely larger than life. We have Reverend Melissa Burnett, who was a school board member and who is involved in various nonprofits today, and certainly has shown me an example since I've been involved in the scholarship board of what she does. We have Mayor Kinder here, who is a historic choice for mayor, who uplifts folks, who I've seen like 4 times in the last 2 weeks, which is great to hear her inspirational speeches, because she reaches out to different parts of this community. Because as important as this room is and how wonderful everyone is, there is a separate part of this community. And to Mayor Kinder's credit, she is just as passionate in a room of folks who are suffering, who have challenges. And as important as this room is, I was at a meeting that was arranged by community council with folks who are coming out of prison who want to get their records cleared. That room is just as important. This room needs to work with that room, and it did. There are other larger-than-life folks who Diane Boharsky, Center for Family Services, if you know her, she's amazing, and she was there. We have amazing social services in this community, and that's because of folks like Dr. Dixon, Reverend Burnett, Diane Boharsky, and others from Center for Family Services. We appreciate having President Link here, who's been recognized as a leader in education, as a lady leader in education, and I believe it was Pennsylvania, but I'm sure it's wider than that. Our recipients, future amazing people, have already started their path to that. Arielyn created a tutoring program. She didn't just sign up for a tutoring program. She just didn't say, well, here's an opportunity. She said, there's a need. She said, some kids need some extra help. And instead of talking about it, she did it. That's amazing at any age. And Riley has is doing something that I did, which is track and field and cross-country running that I did both in high school and 1 year here at college. And trust me, if you can excel at that, you have a lot of perseverance. But more importantly, the letter of recommendation that were sent said she's a leader. She gets involved. She helps others and make them better. That's what being larger than life is. Anyone can be great. When you make the folks around you better, that's when you're making an impact. I'm going to tell you a little about me only because it talks about two issues that I think are so important that folks in the room Wednesday with social services know a lot about, that I think folks in this room need to know about. Not, I suspect you do, but I think it's important that at events like this we acknowledge them. I came here to Allegheny after a very difficult upbringing. I grew up in the richest county in America. I grew up on public assistance. Imagine that. That is not easy. That's something you know every day. When I was 11, my older brother was 19 and killed in a car accident. And my mom, I didn't know my dad very well. My mom was in an abusive relationship with my dad when he was around. My mom was one of those PFA clients that I see now. It took me about 10 years. I do abuse cases. It took me about 10 years to realize that some of the abuse situations and some of my clients were actually, that was my mom when I was a kid. And that was, that took a little day or two to process. And then some other issues came up. But then the great thing is there were people there to support me. There were teachers, there were coaches, and I could name them. If you want me to name them after this, I can. But that's how I got to Allegheny. And then I came here as an 18-year-old kid on welfare to Allegheny College. And it was a little different then, but most of the student body here probably doesn't know what public assistance is, which is okay. But when you get off the bus and that's what you know and you see other students, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. One of the people I met was another student named Keith Weimer who also had a different family situation. He grew up with his grandma. And back in the 80s, today lots of grandparents are taking care of their kids. But back in the 80s, that wasn't the norm. So him and I became best friends. We still are. And he is a librarian at the University of Virginia. So at least 2 Allegheny alumni are employed. So that is awesome. But when I came here, there were still struggles for me. I will tell you folks this and keep it secret. My freshman year, I spent time in the mental health hospital at Meadville. Now, I tell you that because when we think of mental health, we don't think of someone in a suit. But I want you to know, I was there. I think over my life I've had 3 mental health stays in hospitals. But I still get up every day. I'm still able to support my kids. I'm still able to help the community. So when we think of mental health, it doesn't mean that we're not productive, and we need to support that. The other issue I've had, but I've had support through, is some addiction issues, and we'll do less detail on that because I still have to go to work Monday. And they're under control today, but tomorrow's another day. And I have some awesome supportive folks. I have a coworker, me and a coworker stopped drinking together 17 months ago. And she would still take my call. And I would still take her call. If 5 minutes after this presentation I'm having a tough time and I message her and call her, she'll be there. And if she calls me 5 minutes after this, when we turn our phones back on with permission, I'll take her call. And that, I believe we have to work on that. I believe we have to realize that we have to uplift everyone in the community. We have to help them maximize what they're doing. Now, for some folks, like my brother who had schizophrenia, and he had the real schizophrenia. He heard the voices like on TV. It was harsh. He was the person I respect the most because he made people better around him. Now, his way of doing that was just having conversations and listening. He was a college graduate, and he lived a good life, and he helped whoever he could. And in some ways, he was a lot smarter about people than I am. But we need to maximize folks like him as much as folks like the folks in this room. Now, another secret is, the scholarship fund is not here just to help people go to college, although that's a great goal. And it's not here to lower their student debt, although that's a great goal. It's to help people become larger than life, just like the college is. As President Link, she stole my thought because she said we're here more than to create great folk. We're here to do more than just graduate students. It's not about graduation rate. It's about my roommate helping with the food drive in Virginia as much as it is him being a librarian, because he knows it's bigger than him. It's about all of the alumni that I see. And that's the same with Erulin and Riley. We do want you to graduate. We want you to go on to do whatever you want in life. But we want you to be larger than life people. We want you to make this world better. If that world is in Seattle, Washington, God bless you. If that world is in Ukraine, God bless you. If you come back here and I see you in 20 years at Community Council, please remind me, because that's what it's about, making larger than life people and making the world better, small or big. Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Thank you, Attorney Burke. We're all trying to be larger than life. My goodness, how powerful. Thank you so much. Let's say thank you again to Attorney Burke as Reverend DeAngie and Mr. Gelbo get ready for another selection.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a hammer, I'd a hammer in the morning, I'd a hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd a hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd a hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters. All over this land.
We have had some beautiful music this afternoon. Let's again thank Reverend Andrew and Mr. Galbo. Thank you. We have shared our mission with you, and you have met some of the collaborators who worked with us this year. Let us move to the climax, the awarding of the 2022 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. scholarships. Reverend Melissa Burnett is chairperson of the scholarship reception. Her responsibilities include working with the board to make sure the applications are available in early April, making a presentation along with the president to eligible students at the Meadville area senior high school, and working with the board, recipients and their families, and Allegheny College to design the reception program. Reverend Burnett does an outstanding job as scholarship chair. The board decided to award the scholarships to 2 outstanding seniors in the Meadville area senior high school. Reverend Burnett will now introduce the 2022 scholarship recipients who will respond accordingly. The scholarships this year total $8,362. Before Reverend Burnett comes, will Mr. Galbo, Reverend Bowman, President Link, Mayor Kinder, Mr. Higgins, Reverend DeAngie, Attorney Burke, Ms. Wyckoff, Ms. Pam Hyam, Mrs. Galbo, Mr. Sam Bird, and Dr. Cole join Mr. Galbo, Reverend Burnett, and me on my left to congratulate each scholarship recipient who will shake your hands on their way back to join their families. So if you will come up now to form that semicircle. Okay. So once the recipients have responded, you will need to, after you shake my hand, you will need to go down that beautiful row and shake each person's hand on your way back to join your family. Reverend Burnett.
I don't think I need this stool. Thank you. What a nice event. I've been so inspired tonight, especially with that awesome, awesome inspirational speech. Touched my heart. Touched my heart. We have to become better than life. Yes. But tonight it's my honor to introduce our Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Award recipients. I need to allow the audience to know what our criteria is, and so you can know that we've done this fairly. The criteria and academic excellence for the scholarship is measured by review of grades with an overall cumulative average of a 3.0 or better on to a 4.0 scale. School attendance is taken into consideration, extracurricular activities are taken into consideration, and financial need is also a big indicator of how we dispense our scholarship. This year, we want to give a special thank you to the Senior Guidance Counselor, Ms. Gina Falk. In her absence, Ms. Michelle Hyam, we worked with diligently to identify our awardees tonight. Each of our recipients have met this scholarship criteria. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce each of the recipients. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Then they will come forward and they will introduce their guest. And then they will tell us a little bit about their goals. Got that? Make sure you introduce your guest. Okay, our first recipient tonight is Miss Riley Franz. Come on, let's give her a hand clap. Riley is the daughter of Jason and Dawn Franz. Her weighted GPA at the Meadville Area High School is a 4.43. During her high school year, Riley participated in many activities and organizations that included cross country, indoor. It's going to take a while because these ladies have done some great things. So, track and field, outdoor track and field, Meadville's girls captain 2022, Meadville track top freshman, middle and long jump in 2019, and also in 2021. She was first and second team all-region cross-country and track 2019, 2020, and 2021. Meadville cross-country rookie of the year and coach's pick 2018 and 2019. She broke the 800-mile school record for indoor track in 2019. She received the presidential and women's cross-country scholarship at St. Bonaventure. Riley is accepted at St. Bonaventure for the fall 2022 semester. Her future plans in the sport management field will prepare her to coach track and field at the collegiate level. Her ultimate goal includes becoming an athletic director and one day start her very own running program for prospective professional runners. Riley is involved in community with her youth group at First Christian Church. Riley is also employed at Donovan. Riley is described as a leader and role model. She has great respect for her teachers, co-workers, and fellow classmates. She's the type of person who makes everyone around her feel comfortable and welcome. She's the type of person Ms. Attorney Burke was talking about tonight. Tonight we are going to award Ms. Riley a scholarship in the amount of $2,090. So can we give her a round of applause? Help me welcome her to the podium, Riley Rock.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Like she said, I'm Riley Franz. Before I tell you a little about myself, let me introduce my guests I brought with me today. So first are my mom and dad, Jason and Dawn Franz, my grandma, Deborah Franz, my other grandparents, Ken and Sue Miller, and then my two teammates, Max Dillerman and Natalie Smith. All these individuals, among others, have helped me achieve my current goals and pushed me to strive for more. Receiving the Martin Luther King Scholarship has been a great honor to be given. The scholarship was founded in 1968 to help, has repeatedly helped students like myself with assistance in furthering their education. I would like to thank the committee for making this scholarship possible for students like me who wish to continue their education. Furthermore, thank you for choosing me as one of the scholarship recipients. If it wasn't for opportunities like this, many students wouldn't be able to obtain a degree of a higher education to seek their goals. My plans are to attend St. Bonaventure this fall, where I've been accepted into the honors program and will be majoring in sports management. I will also be a member on their Division I cross country and track team. The sports management program will help me reach my long-term goals, which include becoming a collegiate coach for track and field and cross country, an athletic director for a college or a university, and one day have my very own professional running program. With the help of this scholarship, I will be able to continue my education at St. Bonaventure University so I can work towards and achieve these goals one day. It will allow me to focus on my studies and not have to worry about fitting a job within my schedule. This scholarship is going to help me in many ways, not just financially, but allow me to pursue my dreams and make them a reality. I want to thank the committee again for choosing me as one of the MLK Scholarship recipients. Thank you.
Can we give Riley another hand clap? Our second recipient tonight is Arlon. I had to get some lessons in pronouncing her name tonight. It's not as hard as I really thought it was. Arlon Walker. She is the daughter of Mackenzie Walker. Her weighted GPA at the Meadville area high school is a 5.54. During her high school years, Arlon was a peer mentor in the 8th through 12th grade. She participated in several extracurricular activities, which include the Key Club, 9th through 12th, the varsity cheerleading, 9th through 12th. She was the captain in the 12th grade, softball, 9th grade, French club, 8th through 12th grade. Bridge club, 10th through 12th. Track, 10th grade. Echo People Club, 10th through 12th. Project manager, 11th grade. Personal tutoring, nonprofit, 10th through 12th grade. Smarty Paw Tutoring Club, I believe that's the one you initiated, 11th through 12th. She was the president and the founder. Student government, 11th through 12th. Junior council, 11th grade. Link crew leader, 11th and 12th grade. Independent study yearbook club, 11th grade. Helping Hands fundraiser club, 11th through 12th grade. Gannon University Science School of Excellence, 11th grade, #1 student award. Troop E State Police and Cadet Camp, 9th through 10th grade. Woman Achievement Award, 9th grade. Senior Cadet Volunteer, 10th grade. I need some water, I need a break. The Pennsylvania Free Enterprise Week Ambassador, 12th grade. The National Society of High School Honors Member, 11th through 12th. Mock Trial Team, 12th grade. Defense Attorney, 11th grade. District Comprehensive Plan Committee Member, 12th grade. MASH Improvement Committee Member, 12th grade. Arlon is accepted to Carnegie Mellon's University College of Engineering for the fall 2022, where she will pursue a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. Her goal is to contribute to the growth of science and to make a difference to the world. In the face of the global pandemic, Arlon pushed hard to keep clubs and activities going in the school. She is admired by the way she works so hard to lift up those around her, to provide opportunities for students who struggled academically and socially to be supported. Arlon is described as a passionate, driven, and enthusiastic individual. Tonight, we will be awarding Arlon Walker a scholarship in the amount of $6,272. Let us welcome Arlon to the podium.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start off by thanking my family and friends. And today I have with me my mother, Mackenzie Walker, and her fiance, Joe Tedesco. And along with my father, Nathan Hetrick, and my mom, Sammy, and my little brother, Dawson. I appreciate them being here tonight. Thank you for awarding me the MLK Scholarship. I'm beyond thankful that the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board is able to support me this year throughout my academic endeavors. Achieving a degree in college is necessary for me to complete my goals and passions, and I truly appreciate the financial support. Living in a small town has taught me so much about work ethic, determination, kindness, volunteering, initiative, and following my passions. I'm excited to continue to learn and grow for the next 4 years as I attend Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm majoring in chemical engineering and minoring in biomedical engineering. When I earn the position as a cosmetic chemist, I'll explore my love for environmental friendly skincare products as I teach others about the harmfulness of plastic particles like microbeads. Learning from this, I'll create a business where I can sell products with integrity and help improve all skin while being kind to the environment. I will also be creating a yoga club with my roommates, participating in the Women in Engineering Club, possibly joining the Quidditch team. If you've ever watched Harry Potter, you know what I mean, and cheerleading for the Tartans. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm truly excited to contribute a positive footprint to the MLK organization.
My goodness. Congratulations again to Riley Franz and Arielon Walker. Okay, thank you so much. Our beloved semicircle. Our best wishes go with you, Riley. Become outstanding in sports, management, and Arielon, become outstanding in chemical engineering. Be a servant leader that Attorney Burke talked about, wherever you plant your feet. If you have kept up with us over the years, you will notice that each year we have increased our scholarships. You will notice that we have become more and more concerned about the dwindling number of students attending post-secondary and technical and career education. To assist our students, to encourage graduating seniors, we organized a sustainability committee 2 years ago. Ms. Susan Wyckoff, a member of the sustainability committee, will tell us more about this. Ms. Wyckoff.
I'm short, I'm gonna stand here. Wow, you guys are truly amazing, really mind-blowing. And to quote Dr. Seuss, oh, the places you will go. And I am so pleased to be part of the Sustainability Committee. I will echo Attorney Burke's comment that when Dr. Dixon asks, you simply do not say no. So this was my first year participating in the Sustainability Committee, and it was also the first year for our event called Savor for Scholars. I'm not sure how many of you were able to attend, but you know, first year events are always a little sort of iffy, and you're not sure if you're doing it right, and if people will come. It's kind of like having a party and you hope everybody comes, right? And Dr. Dixon assured us that it would be fine. And we were all selling tickets. And if you were there, you know that it was a spectacularly beautiful event. And it was enormously well attended. But it was our first year, and I'll let Dr. Cole in his financial report tell you how well we did. I know the number, but I'm not gonna spoil his thunder. But the bottom line is that in order for us to be able to continue to provide scholarships and to encourage our high school students to want to step out and do more, we need to continue to raise funds. College is expensive, we all know that, right? Just a brief aside, I have 3 children and single parented through most all of that. But for my youngest, it was kind of a very difficult time to figure out how college was going to happen. And without scholarships, their education wouldn't have been what it was able to become. And so it's a big deal. It's a really big deal to be able to come out into the world and figure out who you are and what you can contribute and how you can bring your own ideas and critical thinking to the world and become bigger than life. So in our effort here to continue that, we are going to continue to hold an annual event, and I hope everybody will join us, and we hope Riley and Ira, say your name please, Erilyn, will join us and help us next year to explain how really wonderful the opportunity is and how it jumpstarts your future. So I do think that the event is going to continue to become more remarkable. It was a international food tasting, which is why we called it Savor for Scholars. And the food was amazing, and the venue was beautiful, and there was music, and there were baskets, and there was an auction, and it was just lovely. And it's what allows the fund to grow and be able to continue to spin off funds to provide the scholarships. So I hope you'll all join us next year for Savor for Scholars. I hope that you two have a fabulous first year. Congratulations. I'm so proud to be a part of this. And for all the single parents out there, it really is something, isn't it? And yet they turn out spectacularly. So thank you, Dr. Dixon, for inviting me to join in sustaining this wonderful program.
Thank you, Mrs. Wyckoff. Thank you. I've learned so much from this young lady. Maybe she taught us what she's doing at the Woolen Mill, so I picked up on some techniques. Thank you, Dr. Cole. You know, we have a treasurer who gives his time. Well, we all give our time. That's the beauty of it. We're doing what we enjoy. So, Dr. Cole, will you come up and give us a report in reference to the scholarship fund?
Thank you, Dr. Dixon, and once again, congratulations to our scholarship recipients. I truly believe, and I think we all believe in this room, that education is an equalizer in society, and that we need to do all we can to advance education across all levels. And so I'm inspired by the recipients today. I'm inspired by Attorney Burke's comments, and I'm inspired by what Dr. Dixon brings to the Meadville community through the Scholarship Board. We also support the mentoring program at the middle school, which involves Allegheny students and helps support middle school students on their progression into high school, who we at times see as scholarship applicants and awardees as well. And so with that, I want to just give a quick report on our finances. The scholarship award comes from an endowment that's managed by the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation. And that endowment, as of last quarter, was $240,600. The scholarship is based on the earnings from that endowment. So that's not money that is used directly, but only what's earned from that in the endowment in interest every year. And so the more that scholarship, that base amount grows, the more dollars we have earned that we can hand out in scholarships. So it's critically important to sustain this fund, to continue to build that endowment for the scholarships. And that is an amazing amount because each of those dollars was contributed by members of this community, built by Meadville over decades. And we need to continue to build that so that we can sustain this in years ahead. We also, again, support the mentoring program. We're fortunate to have a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, thanks to Dr. Dixon's amazing work with the state on this. And that's not going to last forever. So we need to continue to build resources for that mentoring program as well. So with that, I'd ask if you know of others that might be interested in contributing to the scholarship fund or to the mentoring program, please let them know. We have a website. You can find us online. There's brochures on your tables with information about how to donate. Please get the word out. That's how things happen in this community. We share words with each other and we inspire each other to contribute in all ways, monetarily or in our time. So with that, I end my treasurer's report. Thank you all for attending tonight, and I'll return the podium to Dr. Dixon.
Thank you, Dr. Cole, for keeping up with the money. I tell you. So we are now finalizing our report for Savor for Scholars, and we're going to tell you about that smashing success as soon as we get that report. As Dr. Cole said, please take a brochure with you and invite a friend to donate. You know, we take small donations, $1, whatever. It's all giving what we can give. So by any means, invite others to help us. Also, mark your calendar for the next Savor for Scholars in April of 2023. Right, Ms. Wyckoff? Yes. Okay. Please refer to your program for acknowledgments. They are Allegheny College, Armstrong Cable, Reverend Cameron Bowman, Mr. Sam Burt Jr., Miss Dorothy Chapman, Reverend Joel Angie, Mr. Rick Green, Mr. John Higgins, Mrs. Pam Hyam, Honorable Mayor Jamie Kinder, President Hillary Link, Meadville Area Middle School, Meadville Area Senior High School, Office of the Counselors, Mr. Kevin Tomine, the Meadville Tribune, Reverend Sarah Roncolata and Stone United Methodist Church, Superintendent Thomas K. Washington, Ms. Susan Wyckoff, Attorney Lisa Youngs, and of course our reporter. We're so happy to have Mr. Gushner with us. He's an old-time friend. He knows Meadville quite well. Thanks again to each of you in attendance. We are the recipients. We ask the recipients and their parents to come up front as soon as we're done to take pictures after the reception. You may also come, anyone, to take pictures after the reception. Don't forget to take some food home so you don't have to cook. Thank you again. Reverend Cameron, will you now close the curtain on this year's reception? Reverend Cameron.
Let us all pray. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.